Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled parents, where the parents are very entitled. If you enjoy, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and all that other stuff. Now without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Let me just take my coat off and pull out my book of wonderful stories. Entitled Mom Tried to Get Her Daughter My Job Because I'm Chubby. This happened today, so I thought I'd share. I'm female and home from college. The stay at home order in my town is slowly being lifted, so some businesses are finally opening up. My parents require me to have a summer job. I'm blessed enough that I get to keep all the money I earn. My parents just like me to work to gain experience. This will be relevant later, but I'm not a skinny girl. I wouldn't consider myself large either. I'm 5 foot 6 inches and weigh about 140 to 145 pounds right now, and carry most of it in my hips and thighs. The freshman 15 did hit me hard though, as I used to be 120-ish. So today, after finishing my last online final, my dad called me. He told me that one of his friends who runs a company texted him that they were looking for girls to work in the office answering phones and stuff. I got excited because that's exactly what I wanted. So I put on a dress, printed a copy of my resume, and drove on down. The ladies inside were super nice and asked me to fill out an application, so I sat down to do so, and this is where EM enters. Here's everyone involved. EM is entitled mom, EG is entitled girl, P is me, DL1 is Desk Lady 1, DL2 is Desk Lady 2, and B is boss of the business. So we're in the South, which might be relevant because typically for jobs like this, they're looking for a pretty face to sit behind the counter and talk to customers. This is unspoken though. Yeah, it's awful, but hey, I needed a job. So as I'm filling out an application, entitled Mom enters with EG. She announces that she's here about the opening and her daughter would like to apply. Desk Lady 1 explains that she'll need to fill out an application and hands her one and a pen. They come sit in the lobby right beside me, which I thought was weird, but I didn't say anything. EM to me.
Are you here for the job as well?
Yes, ma'am. You know, that little cocky sound people make. I ignored her and went up to ask DL1 a question about the application. It was about how professional one of my references for babysitting was. When I returned and sat back down, entitled Mom walked up to the desk.
Does my daughter even really need to fill this out?
It's protocol. Boss will look at the applications and decide who to call for an interview.
Is he here? I'm sure if he could see my daughter, he'd know who he wanted to call.
He isn't, but he isn't seeing visitors right now.
How will he know who to hire if he doesn't know what the girls look like?
Well, he will need to see their references and make a few calls before.
No, my daughter is an aspiring model. She won
Insert local pageant.
in 2019. He needs to see her to know she's the face he wants to see behind the counter interacting with customers.
I'm not sure what you mean. This isn't a modeling job. Looks don't really matter.
Oh, I know, but they do. And let's face it,
Insert boss's name is going to want. At this point, she leans in closer to Desk Lady 1.
A chubby girl up here, is he?
The whole time, EG is smirking at me and glances as she fills out her application. This caught the attention of Desk Lady 2 as well as me, and we both looked up at this point. Ma'am, I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Oh, no disrespect. I just know
Insert boss name.
personally, and I know we'd prefer a new pretty face around the office. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think there's no question between my daughter and, well, this young lady, for example. No offense, honey, just trying to save you some time.
At this point, I'm in tears. I don't know if it was rage or the sting of her insult. But either way, I was not going to let her see me cry, so I quickly got up, handed in my application to Desk Lady 1 before trying to leave. Desk Lady 2, a plus-sized woman, says, "Sweetie, Wait. You say you know insert boss name personally, right? She says to EM.
Oh, yes, we went to high school together.
And you know him so well that you know he'd prefer a skinny woman behind this desk?
Well, I didn't say that,
She did, by the way.
but I'd assume so.
Great. Well, I'm his wife, and I've worked behind this desk for almost 15 years now. And as you can see, I could probably drop a few. And I take personal offense to what you're saying about my husband and this young lady, so I'd like you to wait in the car while your daughter fills out her application. Entitled Mom and Entitled Girl both stormed out at that point. Entitled Girl took her application, so I don't know if she'll apply or not. But both women behind the counter told me EM was a bitch and they'd vouch for me with the boss. So I'm hopeful that I got the job. Edit. My first award! Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Update. Oh my goodness, you guys are so kind. Thank you everyone for the awards and compliments. I'm so overwhelmed. You've all made my little heart so happy. A lot of you want to know if I got the job. Today I went in for an interview and just got home from that. It went well and I'm hoping for a call soon. I'll update you when I know. Update 2. Hey guys, I still haven't gotten a call or anything. I'm starting to think that maybe they wanted someone long term and not just for the summer. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but if they do call me, I'll be sure to update. Someone in the comments say, people suck sometimes. Hold your head high and be proud of who you are. Drive and determination will serve you well. On to the next story. Entitled Mom calls the police on me for stealing her daughter, who is my girlfriend and an adult. Sorry this is so long, but I hope those of you who do read it do enjoy it. This happened about 5 years ago. My fiance and I have been together 7 years. This month. We were hoping to get married this year, but might postpone it due to the circumstances. We were reminiscing some old stories yesterday when the one came up, and she suggested I share it. She was my girlfriend at the time, and I was fully aware that her mom was a few fries short of a Happy Meal, but this was the pinnacle of her behavior. If you guys enjoy the story, I actually have a few more I shall share for you if you'd like. Sorry for the length, but I hope you guys enjoy it. FYI, there is a happy ending. Cast, EM, Entitled Mom, and, oh god, my future mother-in-law. Girlfriend is Ellie. PO is police officer, and OP is me, obviously. Ellie and I weren't living together at the time. She just stayed over from time to time when she could. I took her home after she and I had been staying with me for a couple days and was heading to work. But shortly after, just before getting to work, I get a phone call from her and I could tell she's in tears. Apparently when she got inside, EM immediately blew up on her about being gone for so long. Even though it was only 2 days, and she told EM she was going to be gone, and kept in contact with her while she was gone. But Ellie just sort of brushed it off and went to her room. Entitled Mom's house was pretty much your stereotypical crazy cat lady house. House is badly decaying, cats all over the place, going to the bathroom in random places and whatnot. And when Ellie gets to her room, she realizes while she was gone, the cats peed and crapped all over a pile of her clean clothes. But whatever, Ellie just decided to bag them up and she would watch them next time she came to her place. Her mom didn't have a functioning washer at the time, and apparently that really set Entitled Mom off. Entitled Mom apparently thought Ellie was bagging her clothes because she was planning to go back to my place that night to stay another few days. So she stomped into her room, grabbed the bag, ripped it open, and flung the clothes all over the room, along with the cat shit and piss, while screaming at Ellie she's not going anywhere. And that's when Ellie ran outside and called me. She was so upset and didn't know what to do. Her mom had been doing crazy stuff to Ellie since I'd been with her, but up until now I just helped her however I could while not getting involved and not saying a word to her mom. I told her to go ahead and get the things she needs and I'll take her to my place. She said she would love that. I told my work I was going to be late due to an emergency and turned around to go pick her up. When I pulled back up to the house, Ellie was in the driveway crying. I went up and hugged her, told her it was going to be okay and that she could stay with me as long as she wanted. So she went back inside to get her things. As I was standing outside waiting, I heard the door open again and went to help Ellie with her things. Uh-oh, it's her mom. Entitled Mom comes stomping out with her crazy hair and frizzled and an old nightgown. She beelines for me and gets right in my face. She says,
My daughter said I need to come out and ask you what you think of me.
I knew that was a blatant lie. Ellie would never instigate this.
You got something to say, huh? You think I'm trash, don't you, huh? That's what you think, isn't it?
Again, up until now, I'd completely kept my mouth shut and was trying to maintain that. But this woman was up in my face, freaking out, and was tormenting the woman I loved. So I finally looked at her and broke my silence. Why do you treat her like this?
Oh, what do you mean? That's my daughter, and I worship the ground she walks on.
Oh, really? So calling her a slut, bitch, cunt, and whore is worship, huh?
I would never say anything like that.
And me getting irate? Bullshit, I've heard you say it. And then the entitled mom explodes.
You get your freaking butt off my property.
Okay, I almost never find myself in a situation like this, so I'm not used to it. I say that because after she said this, I pretty much saw red. I'm not proud of it, but I just started shouting every curse word in the book I could probably think of at the top of my lungs, while she went back in the house. But thankfully that only lasted a few seconds, and I immediately calmed down. So finally Ellie comes back out with her stuff, we put it in her car, and I assume it's over. But Ellie turns to me and says,
I'm sorry, but we can't leave yet.
Why not?
Mom's called the cops.
I sorta had a feeling that would happen, no big deal, so we just sat there and waited for the cops to arrive. After about 10 minutes or so, a cop car pulls up. Right when she does, EM comes out of the house and oh my god, yeah, she was doing exactly what you think. She instantly puts on the fragile, brittle old lady act. Hunched over, walking slowly the whole gig. And of course, when the police officer asks what happened, she has to pitch her entire medical chart to the guy. Ellie will tell you this woman has been terminally ill for 12 years. So when she finally gets done trying to milk this poor guy for sympathy, she tells her version of what happened.
Sir, he came onto my property and verbally attacked me. He's awful to me and I've never even done anything to him. He's turned my daughter against me and is trying to convince her to leave.
At first he seems somewhat sympathetic to her, until he turns to Ellie. Ma'am, this is your boyfriend? Yes, sir. Okay, and how old are you? Sir, I'm 23. And this was my favorite part because the officer looked up from his notepad with a look of, wait, what? Obviously, he was thinking Ellie was a minor or something based off of how EM was acting, but quickly realized just what he was dealing with. Eventually, he turns to me. Okay, sir, please give me your version of what happens, and I did so. Funny side note, at one point, P.O. looks up at me and says, You look really familiar, do I know you? It actually turned out the P.O. and I had gone to high school together. Once we recognized each other, we laughed and shook hands very briefly. This was hilarious because out of the corner of my eye, I see EM as a big scowl on her face, as she sees me getting friendly with the police officer. But anyway, the police officer puts his notepad away and turns to me. Just FYI, he says the following with a heavy tone of, I know that you're fully aware of this, and I don't believe you're in the wrong at all, but I have to say this is a formality. Well, OP, she doesn't want you on the property. So be aware that if you come back here, you could technically be charged with trespassing. Do you understand this as I've explained it? Absolutely, sir.
But sir, I wanna press charges,
Says the entitled mom. He didn't do anything illegal, ma'am.
But he verbally assaulted me.
I understand that, and while that was ill-advised, he slightly turns to me and gives me a small gesture with his hand, and I nod in agreement. It's not something I can arrest him for. He agrees he will not come back on your property without your direct permission.
Okay, fine, whatever. Ellie, come back inside.
What? No. You heard, OPO. OP is leaving, and you're staying here. Whoa, ma'am, I didn't say that at all.
But...
Your daughter is not a child, ma'am. She is a fully grown adult and has every right to go wherever she wants.
I'm her mother. She lives under my roof. I told her she needs to stay here, so she needs to stay.
No, ma'am, that's not how it works. If she wants to go stay with her boyfriend, there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop her. And then entitled mom starts the fake crocodile tears and stomps in the house in defeat. Ellie and I thank the officer, got in the car, and we've been living together ever since. And now for the happy ending. Believe it or not, EM isn't really much of an EM anymore. Over the years since that day, EM has decided to make an effort to try and improve. I guess she realized if she didn't make changes, she would lose her relationship with Ellie. So EM started taking advantage of her medical coverage and went to see her psychiatrist and got medicine for her mental illness she actually had, as opposed to the one she would make up, of course. Since then, well, she's actually gotten way better. She takes her medicine regularly and has a boyfriend that is an extremely kind man and treats Ellie as though he were his own daughter. So basically, entitled mom isn't really an entitled mom anymore. We actually get along very well and we see them frequently, and we help each other whenever we can. We actually look back on the early years when she was in fact an entitled mom and laugh. So not only is everyone getting along well, we can actually share the cringe stories and happily laugh about them. If you guys would like to hear some more, let me know. Someone in the comments say, it's very refreshing to read one of these that has a happy ending. It's also good to hear that you and Ellie are still together. I'm glad the entitled mom got the help and changed her ways. Overall, super happy after this story. Thanks for sharing it, OP. And that's the end of today's video. If you all enjoyed the stories I had for you, remember to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all next time. Also, I'm thinking about making a Spotify podcast. What do you all think of that? Is that a good idea? Maybe? I don't know.